Um, Deb, you're gonna represent John Glutch today, and we're talking about working with flippers. Just FYI, we're gonna go with this topic till right at about 10:50. Um, no, we don't need to be pressured to stretch it to 10:50. But if it's getting to 10:50, we're gonna stop. We're gonna move to Elias with Coach's Corner and set up our master class as well. But Elias just always like kind of sets up my whole week, right? And so, I mean, it's a really, really good thing. Take us away, Deb. What's happening with the flippers in your world, and what do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, so I do a lot of business with flippers, either my own flips or other people's. And what I'm looking for is what people are doing to double end the disposition. So, like the flip when it's on the market, when it's already done. What are people doing to double end the listing other than open houses? In addition, what are people doing to turn the listings into more listings?
So, is it just what are people doing to turn listings into more listings, or is it something specific to
Yeah, I guess
flippers?
it could. I know John mentioned the flipper. I guess it could just be really any listing. What are you doing with any listing, turning it to more listings?
Okay, awesome. All right. Let's kick it off in Nashville. Let's go to Nashville. And guys, I don't know, I just see people doing 10 million, 20 million, 50 million, 100 million, 200 million, 400 million. We absolutely want to know what you're doing. So I love Shannon and Colton. And I hope I get to say hi to two or three more of you that I don't get to say hi to every single week. Shannon, please, and thank you. I hope you don't misunderstand that as thank you. Like we need to hear less Dan and less, and we need so you get what I'm saying. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So I guess my question for you is that so you're working with flippers right now. Do you want more flippers? Is am I understanding that
So
question
I think it
correctly, the beginning part?
we could probably take out the flippers. I think what I'm really looking for is taking listings and having a good listing and turning it into double ending it, as well as turning it into more listings. Just a listing in
Okay.
general.
So a lot of it with the listings in general, what we're doing to double end is heavy marketing, where it's not so much on the MLS. We're actually hitting marketing where it's civilian based or events. So we'll do events, and then in our marketing, like so, I have Facebook groups that I'll put them in, and it will be like the new list to Thursday listing, the special listing of the week, and I'm reaching out to people directly. I'm also using Sly Broadcast, and I'm getting renters' phone numbers, and I'm sending them voicemails on homes that they actually might that might work for them, and then inviting them to an open house. Now, with flippers, that's kind of why I really raised my hand, was with that. So how I really got into the flipping population was I offered my commission to actually buy in. And I did that for about two or three flips. And then as that buy-in, I was the agent that they always used because I had skin in the game on my first one or two actual commissions. So that was kind of my tip for you. But other than that, I kind of will leave the floor to everybody else.
And Shannon, I hope you don't misunderstand the thing I said right there. You know that
Oh,
this thing
no.
doesn't tick without you and Colton, period. So thank you. Look what you inspired above. It's awesome. Colton.
Yeah, so this is by far, and by the way, this is, you can use this with buyers, you can use it with sellers. There's just going to be slight little subtle changes to the scripting on it. This literally is the best strategy that I've ever used for it. And I'm going to share an SOP, and I don't know if the link still works. So if not, you're going to have to go figure it out. But I tried to make it super simple. And it's like, so when you sell the house, like, no, there's going to be layers to this. So one, when you list a property and you go invite all the neighbors to the open house, you go door knock the 20 houses to the left, the 20 houses to the right, the 20 houses in front, and you invite them to the neighborhood only, the neighbor only open house, blah, blah, blah. You've all heard of that. So anyway, you want there to be multiple touch points that have already happened by the time that you guys go do this. And it's like we all go send out marketing pieces that, what, by the way, like just sold postcards, yeah, they work, but the conversion ratio on them is horrible and it's gotten worse. So the approach is super simple. And like just imagine it's like what was that guy's name? The guy who used to show up, Mr. McMahon, the guy who showed up with the huge check and the balloons. Everybody remember that? He would show up and it's like, you go door knock. I know you're coming to door knock me before you even get to my door because we all have Ring video doorbells and you show up with your clipboard and your papers and somebody knocks. I ain't answering and neither does anybody else. But so now you get a big welcome home sign and it's like a big perforated sign that the little H frames go into and it's got welcome home on it and you've got the balloons that you're walking up to. Now, one, you don't look like a solicitor. Now they're curious as to who this person might be. So you show up to the door, and if you're the seller, like this is you can use this for buyers. And the whole point, every effort that we have should be, how do I compound this one singular closing into another? And so we do that by going and doing this exact thing. Hey, Dan, so when you get there, it's like, hey, Dan, if you could do me a huge favor, and if you're the listing agent, you're just switching it. We just sold your neighbor's home over on 123 Elm Street, and there's a really nice new family moving into the neighborhood. One of their biggest concerns was that they're just not going to have the sense of community that they had in their previous neighborhood. If you could do me just a huge favor and just take 2 seconds, and then you're going to pull out the marker, could you write a quick welcome to the neighborhood message on this board for me? They all, like, not every single person will do it, but you will be absolutely amazed. You're not going there talking about, hey, I just sold a home and who do you know in the neighborhood that might be looking to sell? You're not doing any of that. You're doing something nice. You're welcoming people to the neighborhood. Hey, can you do me a huge favor? Can you take 2 seconds to write down this note? And you hand them to the board. People take the marker and they write a welcome to the neighborhood thing. And inevitably, what question do you think they always end up asking? What did it sell for? Like, you're literally going and creating an organic conversation that gets them to say, well, what did it sell for? And I have a whole script on this, and I want to make sure, I know there's lots of hands, but from that point, when they do, it's like, hey, I just talked to one of your other neighbors, and I'm going to go ahead and put together an equity report so I can show them how this sale is going to affect their equity. It would take me 2 seconds to put one for you. What's the best email address for you? And I use Dan Beer's approach of look down and start writing it down. And like, literally, you're going to go organically create the conversations that you're wanting to create, but then they get to they ask it to you. You don't have to tell them, hey, would you like to know? So it's a super simple thing. I'm going to share the SOP in the chat right now. The verbiage that's here is for your buyers. You just make it, hey, I just sold a home on blah, 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 blah. It's a super nice family. Their biggest concern is they're not going to have the sense of community that they had in their old. Can you take 2 seconds? Just flip the script. And now you're just welcoming people into the neighborhood. And by the way, you don't have to go steal. You're not trying to do anything weird or wrong. You can go just put the welcome home sign in the yard for the buyers to show up with a bunch of balloons. It's a sweet, nice gesture, but this is so much more welcomed if you've had multiple touch points leading up to this ask. So if you invited them when it went pending, once it actually closed, this is what you're doing to start those conversations.
Love that. Guys, like, where do you get detail like that? Outside of a group like this. Yeah, outside a group like this, you get like, send postcards. So, Amber.
Hello, everybody. I'm only a listing agent. I sell about 100 houses a year. So I wanted to come to you with a lot of value on not only how to get more listings, but also to focus on whether it be builders and or your investors. I think we could all say working smarter, not harder, will always move your business forward exponentially. And I had a conversation with an agent on my team a few weeks ago, and I was like pounding into her head, you need to start sharing your wins on social media. And why I was saying that was this reason. When you get on social media, the amount of people that you can touch and impact in 15 to 20 minutes by sharing a win would take you a week to go door knock those people, or 2 weeks to go door knock those people. And I think oftentimes we get on social media as agents and think that we share our wins by posting the pretty house that we just sold. And you have to go so much deeper. If you want to get other people to either list their house with you or investors to work with you, you have to share the story of the win with your followers. So the given investor per se, I'm going to share the story of I found this investor an off market listing. We bought it for $50,000. I met with my investor. We strategized on what we needed to do to exponentially be profitable and also match what the market's looking for. We sat down, we figured out we needed to do X, Y, and Z. It costed us $60,000 in renovations. 45 days later, we listed it on the market at 300,000. I was able to profit my investor $150,000. And I've also found them the next deal to roll their profit over into. I think we're sometimes hesitant to share what we're actually doing. We share the flyer for the rah-rah of stroking our ego. We sold another house, but we're not sharing what we're actually doing for people. So if you're working with investors and you want to get more investors' attention, you have to show the value that you're bringing those investors by bringing them off-market deals. You also then have to build your social media up if you're looking to target investors, of like adding more investors. Host an investor mastermind. We have like investor templates of buy and hold sheets, buy and flip sheets, what to look for. So they can use those tools, especially if they're new investors. And that's what we do. You have to like specialize if you're working with investors. You have to speak their language and bring deals to their table while also bringing them vendors too. So sometimes we brought them a new vendor that saved them $10,000 in X, Y, and Z. Like share how you're pouring value into them to help make them more money. And I guarantee you're going to have investors blowing you up of where are you finding these deals? Can you find me any deals? Who are the vendors you're working with? So that's how I answer the investor side of things. But overall, if you want to win more listings or get more listings, share the stories of your people. Share the story, especially right now in our market, we're seeing people able to like buy and sell at the same time again. So I shared last week in 2 or 3 different ways, a post of how we help somebody buy and sell at the same time, a video of what it actually looks like to help people paint a picture. So they not only saw like a peer of theirs win, I then described how we did it in a video and I got a listing appointment off of it. If you just post a flyer of, wow, I closed another house, that doesn't trigger people's emotions and it doesn't look relatable. All that does is it gives other agents, give you a thumbs up of like, oh, good job. That doesn't matter. You want sellers and buyers and investors reaching out to you to do business with you. So I just encourage you all to be more purposeful in your post. I would say to really like grow your social media following to the next level and just to be more transparent and sharing your wins, because sharing those wins, I promise you, will bring you a lot more business. And you can do it if you just make 1 or 2 posts a day and share a win and provide value, I promise you people are going to just start coming to you because they see that you're winning and they want to win too.
That's awesome. And I need to say that you've been such a great supporter of the community, but it's great to have more of your voice here. So thanks for the contribution. Really, really good. Justin.
Yeah. I wanted to share one of the things that we are doing when we get a listing, especially a flip listing. I mean, you have such a great platform with that sort of property to leverage. And so we're going on a data resource like PropStream, and we're pulling the expired withdrawals and canceleds within the last 2 years. And we're calling them with the intention to, and of course you want to make sure that they haven't sold, but we're calling them with the intention to invite them to the open house. And so the call kind of goes, you don't identify that you knew they were expired, withdrawn, or canceled until later in the call. But the call pretty much goes, John, it's Justin Borges, EXP, giving a quick call to invite you to the open house this weekend. We're having one right down the street from you. It's our big launch. Would love for you to come by. Are you going to be around? And later on in the call, you're going to say, got it. I did notice, John, at some point, your house did come off the market. We're going to have 50 of the most active buyers in the market looking at this house this weekend. Would you be completely against, looking at an offer for your property in case one of these buyers were a better match for that property? So just kind of doing that, allowing them to start that relationship or raise their hand that, no, I wouldn't be completely against that. And that really gives you a nice avenue to continue following up with them. So that's something we've been doing.
Awesome, dude. And another same thing goes. So appreciate that. And let's go over here to Kelsey. Anna, I see you put your hand down. Let's get over here to Kelsey. And you just need to unmute. Introduce yourself too. Where you at?
Hi,
Make sure
I'm
people know.
I'm Kelsey. My group is in Blacksburg, Virginia. And we just joined EXP last year. I think we've been right at a year. So it's been really great. We've learned a whole lot, but basically everything Amber said, yes, yes, yes. I do a lot of renovation and rehabs. My husband owns a construction company. And one of the things I think that's brought us so much more inventory and people who looking to get into the renovate and resell business has been really putting our focus on the vendors and building those relationships with people who we use time and time again when we do these renovations. So if we have a specific house cleaner or interior designer or carpenter, plumber, my husband does subs a lot of that out. So I spend a lot of time building relationships with them because they're the people that a lot of people are calling to say, how much is this going to cost to do this? And they're collecting leads for me because I've been very, I just always give them my business because I know they do a good job. I have a great track record with them, and it can take some time to build, but I would say it's important to go find those buyers. But sometimes those vendors, if you build that right relationship with them, they'll be happy to kick you those buyers or say, hey, I was just over at the house today. I saw that we just finished up the tile shower. I was talking to a friend. They might be interested. Would it be okay if you met them out there to show them the house? And so I'd say just focusing a lot on those resources that help you get those fix and flips to the finish line, because I'm sure, as we all know, those can be battles and problem solving on its own, but just doing that work and knowing that other leads can come from that as well is if you continue to build that relationship and treat those resources and those vendors as family. And so we're not allowed to obviously do shout outs on our MLS for those vendors, but we do a lot on our social media or try to shouting out the people that are helping us get things to the finish line and just supporting those local businesses that we work with.
So good. This is one of those, we're going to transition over to Coach's Corner. My 2 cents I have is this is one of those sessions where it's like, oh man, so I need to have far more intention with my vendors and with my listings and with my estate. Like there's so many, like Colton put up here, there's $10,000 worth of value on every single one of these Mondays. And I guess, yeah, if it's just like the entry fee, but if you actually implemented anything, you're not going to make $10,000. It's total bullshit. You can make hundreds of thousands, literally, and proven, and eventually million once you stack those things. But the challenges are so much. So like, you need to recognize, hey, that was a great conversation, not for me. That was a great conversation I can contribute to. Awesome. Maybe not now. That's something I need today. So you like prioritizing what's on your path. And then, for example, I could just take this thing that Kelsey's talking about. If you put it as your like one thing for this coming 90 days, that you're going to be very intentional with every vendor, not just send plumbers work and roofers work and cool, but intentional with every single one of them. Guess what? You have a stream of business now, but it's going to take 90 days of intention. So sometimes somebody will say like, whoa, Colton, how'd you build this business? Or Kyle, how'd you build that business? Or they might visit my office, or Elias's, or Shannon's, or et cetera. We didn't build this way. It was the next right thing stacked on the next, one thing at a time with a 90-day focus, quarter after quarter for years at a time. And so what's that thing that you need now and that deserve 90 days worth of your attention? Let's move over to Elias with the Coach's Corner, and then we're going to tee up Masterclass, which starts at the top of the hour.
I appreciate it, Dan. And I just want to get a hand raised, and I'm not going to call on you to speak in this moment, but if you have never raised your hand and shared a contribution on Fast Forward Movement Mastermind, just give me an emoji, any type of emoji, a hand up. Please do that right now. I just want to pause for a quick second. And keep them coming. Keep them coming. Throw your emojis up, throw your hands up. You got something powerful happen in today's session, and I want to talk about 2 things. First off, impact, and the second thing is truth. No matter who you are on this call, I don't care if you've sold 2 homes or if you've sold 2,000 homes. Every single one of you has a voice, has a contribution, has a thought, has an insight, has a vantage point, has a prism that you see life and business through. And I want to encourage you to grab the mic, to share, because there's usual suspects. I'll get on the mic, Colton will get on the mic, Shannon will get on the mic, but you guys have heard it from us. Not saying that it's watered down in any way, shape, or form, because we're always thinking of how can we put this together in a way that you guys will receive the information. But the power of this group is within each of you. There was a time where I never spoke on Fast Forward Movement. There was a time where I felt scared and I just raised my hand. I said, something good will come out, something of value if that is your intention, right? When Amber says, I need to get on the mic more. Why? She knows that when she delivers something, she feels good because she's filling up your cup. So let's talk about impact. Each of you that have raised your hand saying, I have not contributed, I want to encourage you. I want to push you and I want to implore you to get on the mic and talk. 3 things happen from these sessions. 1, we strategically share. So you're growing from a strategic level, whether it is now in your business or whether it's down the road in your business. I promise you, the strategies that will be shared in this group will remove friction, they will remove guesswork, and it will allow you to say, I don't have to do all the hard work. The legs have already been built. I am the one that can build from that. The foundation has already been set. The second thing that happens is there's a psychological impact. Let's call it the psycho effect. What I mean is that in these groups, you're going to hear things that are going to make you think about your business in different ways. And lastly, there is an emotional connection, meaning my hope is that when we talk about things, in order for us to do the big vision, in order for us to grow our business in ways that we truly, truly desire to grow our business, if we're not connected here, then none of it really matters. None of it really matters. So I believe that this mastermind does those 3 things. And so when I talk about impact and I talk about truth, I wanted to share this with you because I saw this other day and I thought it was a powerful, powerful message. And it reminded me of each of you and why we're here. And it's about the few. When I look at Fast Forward Movement, there's all kinds of different groups. There's all kinds of different masterminds in our industry, but we are the few. Everybody wants to eat, but few will hunt. Our lifestyle is uncommon and it is uncomfortable. Each of you have achieved some level of success. Each of you have fought through the uncomfortable shit in order to be in this room. So we surround ourselves with hunters, those that are relentless in their pursuit to capture and kill, those working hard to capture their dreams, their goals, and their highest selves, those working harder to kill their distractions, weaknesses, and lower selves. They are known as the few. You are known as the few. This group is a special group, and the more that we get people to contribute, share their thoughts, their vantage point, and how they see this business through their prism, I promise you, that is how this group will continue to grow and continue to make an impact in all kinds of lives moving forward. And I want to share this with you, and I stole this directly from Colton. So Colton, thank you for posting this. I don't know when, but I stole it. And it says, if a camera crew had been shadowing you over the past every hour for the last 90 days. And today we sat down together as a coach and we watched that tape frame by frame. What would the habits reveal about your path? Are you a failing agent or are you a top producer based on your habits? Would we see discipline and relentless action, purposeful moves, or hesitation, excuses, and moments stolen by comfort? Now, be brutally honest with yourself. It determines everything about where you are headed. And here's the best part. You don't need another 90 days, like Dan was saying, to turn it all around. You only need today. So make today a masterpiece. And Mondays represent moving the needle in your business. Do one good thing that's going to move your business forward right now, today. Commit to it. You don't have to do all the shit that we talk about on these mastermind calls, because if you did, you would feel a sense of being overwhelmed. All I want for everybody on this call and everybody that watches this replay to do one thing that's going to move their business and move the needle in their business. And while you're at it, you might want to focus on something that's going to replenish your soul. Go move your ass, work out, sweat, do something hard today, but do one thing today that's going to move your needle forward. You don't need 90 days to turn your business around. You need to take small micro steps in order to have the life, business, health, and relationships that you truly, truly desire. Dan, that's all I got for you guys this morning. I look forward to seeing everybody in Coach's Corner on Wednesday.
Yay! That was so good.
Thanks,
Why
Colton.
don't you make sure they know exactly where to find you every week, Elias?
10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time in this room right now. We go full tilt for 45 minutes. And I promise you, I will pour everything that I have into you guys, all my expertise, all my experience, and I'll make you guys think. I'll make you guys feel. And my hope is that you leave that room with one thing that you can apply in your life, business, health, and relationships to move you forward. That is my promise.
Quick background. He's done this for another one of those teams that we didn't know the name of some years ago, but is now just a perennial top 3 team at eXp Realty, year in, year out, year in, year out. And that's been true for 4 or 5 years across all of eXp worldwide, in transactions, in volume. And Elias is that role right there for that team, Team Fast. There are people all over the country, teams specifically sometimes, because they have the financial resource for it, to pay for someone like Elias to dive in, go $1,000 for 30 minutes of power into their team, to power their sales team every single week, $1,000 a week, $4,000 a month, every single week. But typically it's only those bigger, well-resourced teams that have access to those kinds of to make that investment. You have that because you're a part of Fast Forward Movement every single Wednesday in what's called Coach's Corner. Go to your calendar, put it in, tell them again exactly how to be there, what time. It's the same link and password, guys, as we use for this then. So go, it's every Wednesday.
10
Get
a.m.
your calendar, 10 a.m., just like this call, but on Wednesdays. And give them a little bit more specific. Oh, we're at the hour. But just right now, we'll introduce the masterclass. And on a more like specific basis, what do they expect out of it? Is it sales skills? What is it?
It's all of those. It's sales skills. It's fighting through challenges as a collective. It's making sure that we're in the right headspace in order to go out and conquer the world, and obviously leave there with some high level strategy. So it's a combination of all, Danny.
Let's go to the masterclass. Elias, thank you, my brother. Let's end this recording. Start the recording. We're going to introduce Colton, who